Oop, you okay?
All right.
Alrighty then.
All righty then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well then, I guess we could start off talking about what we were going to talk about.
What was that?
Well, next week we're going to have I guess it'd be 2 weeks from now we'll have Dr. Rick Cromie on.
Don't we have to start over?
We did.
Well, we didn't say welcome to Hip and Humble.
Welcome to Hip and Humble. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Mom.
And we talk about all things antique and collectibles. And we are supported by Hip and Humble Antiques, LLC. We've got 2 locations, one just outside of Bethany, Oklahoma, or just outside of Oklahoma City in Bethany, Oklahoma at Rink Gallery. We also have another store in downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia at Oldies But Goodies. And we also have an online store on Etsy. That's Hip and Humble Antiques on Etsy. We are also supported by the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. It is a national online radio network with tons of great creators. Check them out.
That's right.
We are a bit befuddled today.
A little bit.
A bit befuddled because, of course, I originally wanted to talk to you guys about picnics and the social economic revolution, or the revolutionary idea of picnics, and then how it led into the French Revolution and all that good stuff. And we will talk about that. However, I was put off course in my research for that because we were going to interview Dr. Rick Cromie. He is the president of MANA, which is a nonprofit organization, and we are going to be interviewing him in the next couple weeks. We were supposed to do it today, but both of us were having a bit of computer issues.
Yes.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about vintage souvenirs.
Yes. Aram is getting ready to go on a little vacation with his in-laws and his wife and her family. So I kind of thought, you know what do you do when you're on vacation? You buy souvenirs.
That's exactly right.
That's why they got those shops.
Well, and what's fun too is you've always told me whenever any place we've ever traveled, you get little souvenirs. I've always liked hat pins, so I always like to get little hat pins wherever I go. That's just my little corny thing that I get. But also, I like to try to get some piece of art or something that you can
that's local.
Something that's local that you can only get where you are.
Where you are.
Yeah.
Yep. And the one thing that I always look for when I go are Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
And thimbles.
Yes.
So
thimbles are awesome.
Because it's so,
Yeah.
But thimbles. So I got, and it's all the way upstairs in my bedroom, and it's probably illegal. But in
those
Alaska,
are the best things.
I know. In Alaska, I got a thimble that says Alaska, but they also had sealskin thimbles.
Did they now?
Yep. So I did get a sealskin thimble.
That's pretty cool. Well, it's not illegal. All those. So seals are an invasive species.
Yeah, they are.
And so they encourage people to go up there and hunt them by hand. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them.
There's quite a lot
of them. But a lot of people, they collect all kinds of things on trips.
Yes.
And so some people, will just go on vacation and you buy the T-shirt or you see some jewelry or something like that. But then there are people like us that, you collect hat pins. Mm-hmm. I collect thimbles and Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Some people go out, and my mother and her family, they would get spoons.
Yeah.
So all these spoons from all the different countries and stuff.
Nana has hundreds and hundreds of spoons.
And then, there's some people, keychains.
Dirt, another one. Some people get dirt.
Well, yeah,
they'll get sand or dirt.
There was one doctor that I had a million years ago, but I don't remember what it was for. It might have been one of you guys. Sorry, I keep yawning.
That's all right.
But every base that they went to, she had like a test tube full of sand or dirt from that place.
Yeah.
And I'm just she just kind of had them like lined up on the wall, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then they made this whole rule like worldwide or something. I don't know. Can't bring dirt out or in.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Probably because she's a doctor and is probably in her suitcase in a test tube. Then maybe they were like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I doubt they really look for that.
I doubt they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I doubt that. But that was really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. It's interesting to think about why people take little things from where they go, and
shot glasses. That's another one.
Shot glasses. A lot of I've met some people with some pretty impressive shot glass collections.
Yep. Postcards.
Postcards are huge. Well, and postcards used to be the norm because people didn't have, cameras on their phones.
Oh yeah.
And so
and that's what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we would go on vacation or do anything, instead of trying to take these fantastic pictures with my film camera from the 70s.
Yeah.
Buy the postcards. So they always have like these packs of postcards. So I'd buy the postcards.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think that the expression "send me a postcard" it's completely antiquated.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but they still sell them.
They still do. People do still buy them, but I think it's more of a memento and more of a memento than kind of a necessity, because maybe before
it's never a necessity.
It's never a necessity. But before, people, you would send a letter, you'd send a postcard while you were on vacation to your friends, let them know, this is where we're at. It looks so nice. But now you can just text them or call or send them a picture from your phone or what have you, or you post it on social media, on everything like that. Now there's this he's a travel writer. His name's Rolf Potts, and he pondered kind of why people take different things from wherever they go, and he said it's just something we do as a way of familiarizing ourselves with the world, its possibilities, and our place in it. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think, you alluded to it earlier when you said you tend to look for thimbles. I look for hat pins. Nana looks for spoons. So we all kind of have our own unique little things that we like to take from wherever we're at.
Well, I think also, whenever you go on a vacation or anything, you always want something from that.
Well, you want a reminder of it.
And, it's kind of like, okay, I know I'm going to look for my Christmas ornament and my thimble. Okay. And then once I get those, I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like pressure's off.
Yeah.
Now I can enjoy. Oh, look, you got T-shirts for $3 for $9.99. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, for me, whenever I go to different places, if I have a really good time, I always want something to remind me of that time, something to look at and say, oh, when I was there, we did this, so on and so forth. Like whenever Catherine and I went to Italy and we got that box of wine, and I said, it's really nice because I smell it, and then I immediately I'm back in Italy.
Oh, sure.
It just reminds me of that time and being there, and it's just really nice.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But there's just so many things that people have collected through the years for souvenirs and are now antiques.
Yeah.
And people want them still.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and antique souvenirs are a market in and of themselves, and they're a fantastic market. Do you know where the term souvenir came from?
No.
It's a French word.
Of course it is.
Speaking of the French Revolution, we'll get there. I promise. I'm very excited about it, just as much as you are, I'm sure. Probably more.
I am.
Probably more. But the French word means a remembrance or memory.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I think it's very fitting. It is a memory, or it is a remembrance of a memory from that place or that time that you spent and wherever you were.
Yeah.
Where was the first place you remember going on vacation?
On vacation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my family didn't really take, vacations.
Yeah.
We went for church, conventions.
Yeah.
So, always been to church convention.
Mm-hmm.
General convention is what it was. And so that was our vacation.
Right.
But, I think the first, vacation would be, probably when we would have there was 4 families and we all ran around together, and of course all of us kids. And, I want to say really probably to Branson, Missouri.
Huh.
And this was before Branson is Branson of today. They had Silver Dollar City.
Right.
And that was about it. That was the first time I ever went on a water slide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cause that wasn't a thing then.
Yeah, right.
So, that was big, brand and new.
Yeah.
And we had, 2 motorhomes. And so we're all 4 families. I mean, it was crazy. We're in the motorhomes and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I remember that we would go, the water slide was across the street and you could pay some amount of money and you could go as many times as you could in like an hour or something. And we would just zip down that thing and it was like 5 or 6 flights of stairs up it.
Oh yeah.
to go back down this slide.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we ran that circle constantly. But we went to Branson several times, with them, and Galveston. That was another one.
Galveston.
We would go down to Galveston.
Yeah.
With them. But
wait, with whom?
With the Crosswhites, the Roberts, and the Hankinsons.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, there was, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. There's 3 of us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 14 kids. All ages.
That's enough. Well, it's really cool whenever you go out.
Time.
Well, yeah, whenever you go out with a crew. Cause when you roll in 14 deep, you can get in some trouble.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The, boy that came and stayed with us.
Yeah.
His mother was one that, she was one of the kids.
Oh, okay.
So, known each other all our lives.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's really fun.
But we would go down to Galveston and that was a lot of fun and stuff. But I think the first family vacation, just my little family was, when we went to Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the only real, vacation that I really remember was, where it was just the 5 of us.
Yeah.
Was when we went to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, we were very fortunate.
Well, you weren't there.
No, I'm saying me, you and I, our 5, not your 5.
Things though, I think with military life, it is, and for me anyway, is I've always treated everywhere that we've gone as a really long vacation. So whenever we would move to a new place, I want to see everything.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to go to every little tourist, kitschy, whatever thing we can go to, learn everything we can about that part of the country, see the museums, see, pet rocks, whatever.
Oh yeah.
We want to see it all. And, I think that does benefit in a lot of ways. And we were just fortunate because then when we got ready, then we moved.
Yep.
So, or not when we got ready, when the military got ready.
Yeah, when the military got ready.
It's not really up to us, but.
No, not quite.
But that was most of our vacations and stuff growing up was really, it was either going with the church, to general convention or we would go on kind of family vacations.
Yeah.
With the other 3 families and stuff.
I will say on the flip side of that for us, the only time I remember going on kind of a multi-family vacation was that one time we went to the Yogi Bear camp with the Jordans.
Yep.
The Jordans, we had a lot of fun. We did.
Yep. We went there. We also went to Chickahominy when Lloyd had his boat.
That's right. Well, that was more of a day trip, I thought.
No, we spent a couple nights there.
Oh, I don't remember spending the night. I just remember being out on the boat and getting burnt and everybody trying to get up on the wakeboard and nobody could. I
just remember we were going around on this Chickahominy Lake and I don't know if this is true or not, and I've never looked it up because I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I remember going around and I don't know, somebody had told me that Albert Einstein lived on that lake at one point.
Huh.
So, or he had a house there or something. They're like, oh, that's Albert Einstein's old house. And I'm like, really? Because I just never think of, I always think of Einstein and like Aristotle from 200 years ago.
Yeah, well, Aristotle and Einstein are quite a bit removed.
I know, but they're kind of like in the same category for me. Category of brains.
Well, I guess. I wouldn't necessarily classify Albert Einstein as a philosopher as much as I
don't know. I mean, there is a philosophy and a beautiful harmony and poetry to mathematics.
Well,
it is one I don't understand, but I know it's there.
Well, I would say he's more of a physicist. I mean, he, helped with
There's
the invention.
poetry there.
There is absolutely a poetry. I mean, physics is the study of everything. It's the study of how everything came to be.
And a philosopher is the pondering of everything.
Yes, the philosophy is also the study of everything, but I guess it's more of an
It's just a different road.
approach.
Yeah, just two different roads to get. It's more than one way to skin a cat, Aaron.
There's a couple, yeah.
Yeah. But as far as souvenirs and antiques go, there's a lot of them.
Oh, there's an incredible amount.
But keychains.
Yep.
Keychains are very, people come in and looking for keychains. They come looking for all kinds of stuff. I have a bunch of postcards at the shop right now, which, okay, this is just a hoot. But I was at this thrift store and I saw this big bag of postcards and I thought, it's $2. Like, for $2, I'm interested.
Oh, yeah.
So, buy the bag, come home, and we're like going through them, and they're from all over the place, all over the country. And I'm like, oh, this is, had like New York City with the trade towers,
Right, the Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers and all this. And my mom is helping me go through these postcards. And she's like, where did you get these postcards? And I told her, well, here's where I got them. And she said, really? So you got them down there? I said, yes, I did. It's like, is there
a problem? Are you upset?
She goes, yeah, I know this family. And I'm like, you do not.
Oh my goodness.
And she did. She knew them. I guess she grew up with them. She's like, they were in the church, this church, and did this and that. Well, they both passed on by now. And I'm like, what are the chances? What are the chances of my mother knowing these people? Well, apparently pretty good.
So, well, it's like we had a book. It was an antique book that we had on our Etsy shop, and one of my friends actually bought the book. It was an old German storybook, German children's storybook, a collection of them, and in it it was labeled to belong to a family, and my friend ended up looking up the family or looking up the name and found the person on Facebook, and they lived in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Really?
And he found the gentleman whose family had owned the book, and he said that it was that book had come out of an estate sale from his grandfather, and that was one that they had been trying to keep, and they were not trying to get rid of because it had his handwriting. It was one of the last that had his handwriting. He was able to return the book to him, and it was an amazing story. So just,
that's awesome.
It is incredible.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so cool whenever you find things like that bring you back around. And it's like that whenever you have souvenirs. You find those certain things that bring you back around to that time, remind you of that person, remind you of that experience. So we talked about art, we talked about shot glasses and spoons also. And
a lot of people, they come in looking for that. I've had people, they'll come into the shop and they're like, hey, do you have any shot glasses from New Orleans?
Right.
I'm like, like I'm going to know that on my, mental inventory. And I'm like, I don't know. But a lot of times I'll just have shot glasses and I'm like, I don't know, but here's a bunch of them.
Right.
And a lot of the other vendors in there do too. But another big one, which you don't do anymore and you don't find, are matchbooks.
Matchbooks, yeah.
Matchbooks used to be everywhere.
Well, you used to get matchbooks at restaurants, diners, gas stations, yeah.
Everywhere. And my grandmother actually collected matchbooks for a long time. I think my cousin Royce took all of her big thing of matchbooks. But people still collect them.
Yeah.
And
and they're harder to find now too.
Well, they are.
I mean, obviously matchbooks burn up. So if you collected them and you used them, then,
right.
Obviously they became really popular coming out of the 40s and 50s. And that's when, cigarette companies ruled the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and it was great advertising.
Absolutely.
So every company in the world had matchbooks at some point.
Yeah.
And that was just, they were laying all over the place. They'd have buckets and everybody just pick them up.
Right.
And I've got some, which I need to put out at the shop. But some of them are just so cool. And it's like, you can't keep everything, folks. I try, but I know we can't. But I have some that, are from the airlines.
Yeah.
So I think it's Pan Am.
Pan Am Airlines. And we had some from, like Sunoco and a couple of the older gas
Sambo's.
stations. Yep.
Which you don't know Sambo's.
No, I don't.
But Sambo's, those of us out there that are older remember Sambo's. So now those would be very racist, but that was the time. Yeah. So, but Sambo's, the NRA, got some from the NRA.
Yep.
Just all kinds of, Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, the Piggly Wiggly. That one killed me when I saw it.
So, I mean, they're kind of cool. And a lot of people collect them now, and they collect specific ones.
Right. From specific time periods and companies.
Yeah, companies and stuff like that, and they'll frame them. Which I thought, that's pretty cool.
Oh, of all the things to frame, that'd be a pretty cool one. And make a really, really great collage.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk more about that when we come back from our break.
Hi, my name is Kaylin, and I'm the host of a new podcast called Tea Time Thoughts. Do you ever wish you could learn more about history, books, music, art, and culture, but you just don't know where to start? I totally feel your pain. Learning about all these things can be so overwhelming. Well, I want to change all of that for you. In my podcast, Tea Time Thoughts, I'll show you just how fun it all can be. In the time it takes to have a cup of tea, I'm going to teach you everything from the French Revolution to the Black Plague, Mozart to Broadway musicals, Da Vinci to Robert Frost, ancient Egypt to Queen Elizabeth II, and more. You can stream Tea Time Thoughts wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So what are you waiting for? Put the kettle on and listen to Tea Time Thoughts today.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Hip and Humble. I'm still Aram.
And I'm still Mom.
And we are still talking about souvenirs.
Yes, we are.
Yes, indeed, we are. And we are still supported by Hip and Humble Antiques, LLC. Please follow us on Instagram. We are going to post, or we do post there daily on our story. I try to post a post as often as I can, and I'm always on there, always ready to take messages, questions, comments, all that good stuff. Anything you guys put on there, I see it, and I personally respond to it, and I appreciate it every single time. So please follow us on Hip and Humble on Instagram at hipn.humble. Also, if you really like what we're doing and you want to support, please consider donating to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/hipandhumble. We post all of our videos on there, and we might even post some deleted scenes. We have some deleted scenes now this week.
No.
From whenever we tried to start and restart. But we are also supported by the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. It's a national online radio network with tons of great content and providers. Thank you for having us on here, and you guys, please check them out. So, we were talking about the different things that people collected and what they do with them.
Well, dolls.
Dolls
would be another one. My grandfather was a missionary, and so every time he would go to another country, he would bring back a doll.
Yeah.
Just the little dolls and stuff. So I always call it my United Nations.
Yeah, I got a little off topic, but kind of not. I got invited to be on the Model United Nations for my online university.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you did that for high school too.
I did it for high school and I did it for college.
Yep.
I did it at Oral Roberts before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, but that would be one thing that my grandfather would bring back.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some of them, not my personal dolls, but other ones that I found, I'll put in the shop and stuff. And so people still do buy them. Mm-hmm. And I will say when I was in Alaska, they sold very similar to the little Alaska, doll that I have. But my grandfather bought it, when I was born. He was in Alaska. So he was actually up at Eielson.
Huh.
Kind of funny, huh?
That is funny.
But he had bought that because I was born, when he was up there and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I still have it. So it's a 51-year-old doll.
There you go.
But they still sell them pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've got a rug around here somewhere, that has the Alaskan dogs on it, which apparently was my first words were Papa's dogs. Huh. But I saw a small one just like it in one of the antique shops. And yes, on vacation, that's where I go, is to the antique shops.
Well, different places have different antiques, and that's really, really cool.
I got one that is awesome, and people definitely collect these all the time.
Yeah.
are tablecloths.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a state tablecloth, so it has Alaska on it, but of course every state made them. Mm-hmm. So they have, that's what that was my souvenir from Alaska. One of them was this Alaska tablecloth.
Right.
But people will definitely collect, and they've always collected those.
Right.
So, and tea towels is another one.
Yeah.
Another big one that they would
Another big one too is shells. People will take shells. A lot of places will decorate or they'll paint shells. And stuff like that. So evidently my parents, before I was born, for the very sweet grace period of their lives before I entered it.
I barely remember it.
The very, 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 short and sweet period of their life where, I was not there.
Yeah. For that whole 20 minutes.
Yeah, that 20 minutes. They went to California and evidently...
We didn't go to California. We were stationed at California.
Yeah, they were stationed there for a bit. And evidently there was a very large conch shell.
It wasn't a conch shell. It was an abalone.
Okay.
And, I didn't know, folks, so just don't get all mad at me. I didn't realize that you're not supposed to pick up abalone because, see, I'm from Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And when we go down to Texas, what do? We pick up the shells. When we go to Florida, what do? We pick up the shells. That's a thing. So when you go to California, I assume it's a beach, pick up shells.
Right.
Well, I'm like all excited about this big old abalone shell. Mm-hmm. And here would be one right here.
Yep.
Oh, can I pick it up? Big old honking abalone shell.
Oh, yeah.
And
that shell is so big, it looks like it's got all those little shells, or it's baby shells.
Well, they are. Well, I mean, they're cute little shells. I mean, these are all shells I picked up all over.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a big old honking one, and it was in this little tide pool thing, and my new husband would not dive down there and get it for me. Cause
mind you,
it is so cold. And mind
you, it's around 45, 50 degrees.
No,
and the water
it was plenty fun. I didn't even have on shoes. I don't have on shoes, it's not cold.
The water was freezing. I went to the Pacific and confirmed this. The water is freezing.
Yeah. No. Anyway, we did get some really cool shells. No, when we went on our cruise, for, I don't know, what was that, 25th wedding anniversary?
Yep.
We've been married 30 years
It'll be 30 years now.
When we were in, I don't know, where did we go? Forgot.
Oh,
somewhere
where
in Mexico.
Did you go?
Anyway, wherever we went.
Yeah.
we got two big conch shells.
Oh, yeah.
But these were the abalone.
Those are abalones, yes.
But I didn't know that apparently they are illegal to pick them up. But of course these were dead, so there was no live anything in this. Mm-hmm. But I have one upstairs that I keep my sponge in, by the sink.
Yeah.
And I always kept it in that.
Yeah.
Same one for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, somebody came to our house once and they're like, oh, is that an abalone shell? I was like, yeah. And they're like, where did you get it? And I was like, California, when we were stationed out there. Well, that's illegal and you can't do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, babe, it's been up here.
Statute of limitations, babe. It's been 20 years. I think we're good.
I was like, I guess at the California we're going to come after me. They missed the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did.
But yeah, that is one thing. That's another thing I guess people do collect is they try to collect something from nature.
Yeah.
Which
like
is
shells, the petrified forests. Although, folks, if you go to the petrified forest, do not take any of the ones on the ground. Buy it from the gift shop. Do not take any from the ground. Also, they have tons of really creepy stories of people taking them from the ground and then like getting their arms chopped off.
Well, I think those
their cars breaking down, all that. So if you're superstitious, definitely don't. But just to be nice, definitely don't.
But that's that is one thing that people want to take. Something from nature. Well, I also have these mammoth pine cones.
They really do. Well, and I found, we went to the petrified forest. So my aunt, her sister, she graduated with her doctorate from, in Arizona, and we took a trip down we were living in Nebraska at the time. We took a trip down from Nebraska all the way down to Arizona, and we kind of took the scenic route. We went through.
That was horrible.
We went through all 4 seasons in one day.
Yes, we did.
It was literally all 4 seasons in one day. I mean, from snow,
awful
snow, to rain, to shine, to wind, to blazing heat. I mean, and it was within 6 hours.
Yeah.
And when I say one day, I really mean one day.
Yeah, it was awful.
And, we did get to see some crazy cool things though. We got to see Garden of the Gods. We got to see the Petrified Forest. We got to see the Grand Canyon. All those kind of.
Hit all the big stuff.
All the kind of Western big things. We didn't see Yellowstone though.
Yellowstone's not down there. It's up in Montana.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Nope.
That's true. We did
not on that trip.
Not on that trip. However, up to that point, did not know about all of the other petrified forests in the world. And when my wife and I, we went for our wedding anniversary, our first wedding anniversary. We went for we are coming up on our second now, goodness. We went for our first wedding anniversary to the petrified forest next to Mount St. Helens there in California in Napa Valley. And it was really cool. And, we were literally the only ones there. Because obviously we went last summer and, there were not a lot of people, traveling last summer.
Nope.
So we were the only ones there. We got a personal guided tour throughout the whole thing. It was amazing. And she was really excited to have us there. And, thank you all for that wonderful time. If this ever gets around to you, that, your park is amazing and, your guides are incredibly knowledgeable. It's fantastic. So yeah, but they also do not let you take it off the ground. Although, unlike the petrified forest, the petrified wood there is all kind of one big piece. So it'd be pretty difficult to take a redwood out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely it would.
Yeah.
I will say when Tavin and I hiked up, Costner's Creek to the glacier, I did take a rock out of the ice cave.
Naughty.
Well, it's not like it's a tourist place.
Right.
So I just picked up took a rock.
Right.
But it did come from that ice cave.
Well.
So,
I bet you how far does the ice go into the cave, I wonder?
Well, okay, I didn't really understand this, but okay, there's like a river.
Yeah.
They call it a creek, but it's a river.
Yeah.
Like Rappahannock River. It's a big river.
It's a big river, right.
And so it goes, and then there's this ice cave.
Yeah.
Apparently the glacier is like way up here somewhere, and it's melting, and that's what's coming out through the ice cave.
Oh.
To the river.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't realize that at the time. And I remember I was walking along and I'm like, I think it looks like we're kind of walking on water because it's like all blue. Mm-hmm. It's like this, it looks like Superman's cave.
Yeah.
It's like blue down and I'm like, that's okay. Well, then Tabby went camping over Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And he sent these pictures and he goes, and I said, you went back to the cave. And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, and there's two ways to hike up to this. And you do one side and it's really wrong. And then you got to go on the other side. But, he's taking pictures of it. I'm like, holy crap. This is not like a little, it is like gushing, flowing out of this. And I'm like, oh. Okay, this was not a good plan.
No.
So I assume that it goes way, way far back. Mm-hmm. How far back it goes before it's like water again, I don't know. Because as you go, it's like you're literally walking in a shell. So it's like you got the open part and then you just keep going back and it keeps getting shorter and smaller and smaller and smaller. Huh. So.
Like a hermit crab.
Yeah, kind of like that. Huh. But I'm like, I really don't know how far back it actually goes, but.
Well, I was asking because I think, where did you get the rock?
I just picked it off the ground.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if the ground was ice.
Oh, well, when you look up at the top, you can see where the ice, it's like ice and then you'll see like a vein of dirt.
Oh, okay.
Kind of dirt rock or whatever coming down through that. And so that was what. That's kind of what I picked up. Oh, okay. So it's just kind of this little white sediment looking, rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was interesting too, kind of back to what we were talking about with the souvenirs people have always taken things from where they went. If you look back at medieval times or even ancient times when people would go to different places, they would take things from those places and incorporate it into their society, or they would basically just have it as a reminder of what they did there, or
they would bring products too. Mm-hmm. A lot of times back then, they were traveling over for salt or spices,
livestock too,
different things like that.
The Great Silk Road. road.
And I think that's one reason why tablecloths and tea towels and kind of practical items, even trays.
Yeah.
You know, those melamine trays.
The melamine
I've got one in
trays,
my
yeah.
bathroom. We were in Stockholm. You know, that has Stockholm on it.
Yep.
So, and I keep the little price tag on the back of it because it's like 6,000 krona or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, because their currency there is 7-to-1 for the U.S. dollar, and so you feel rich walking around with all this cash.
I got all this.
Like, well, I got, you know, because what? I mean, you get $40, you got like 300 kroner.
3,000 million krona.
Yeah, so walk around like I got 3 bills I can throw down right, But,
oh yeah.
But no.
It's quite a bit, but yeah.
I will say it's a bit dangerous though, because if you have that much cash and you think, oh, I got so much, but the prices of things are about the same.
Sure.
So, you know, like she said, like that tray is 6,000 kroners. I mean, it's like $2. It's like so 6,000 kroners is not $2, obviously. It would be like 14 kroners, so it would be $2. However.
Whatever.
But like I got a jacket there, it was a really nice wool jacket, and it was just kind of an like a smoking jacket, and it was a wool,
it was a pea coat.
A wool pea coat. Yeah, it was a double-breasted one. Really great coat, and I think I got it for like 375 kroner, and of course I was like, oh, you know, like that's great, but then I go back and that's most of my money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's about the same price as I would have paid, you know, for like for one in like JCPenney's or something like that. Like a moderate, not super high end, but a moderately priced one. Pea coat, that is.
Right.
You know.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Just so Aram can put these pictures up later.
Mm-hmm.
But just so that you can get an idea, Alaska, bam, where are you, my little ice cave?
It's in Alaska.
I do know that. Okay, here's the entrance to this ice cave.
Yeah.
It's a little cave.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. Always forget and go back to the pictures. And here's what it looks like now.
Oh, wow. Yep, that's very different.
Very different.
Very different.
Aaron will put the pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll have to put them on there.
But it's like, oh, that's not good.
No, that's very much not so.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. I didn't realize. That is really pretty.
That is really pretty.
Aaron, Tabin takes some beautiful pictures sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes.
Other times it's, you know, like a fire.
Yeah. Well, and you know, he doesn't smile as much in pictures. Ever since he was little, he has this like picture smile that he puts on.
Well, I think a lot of people do that.
I mean, yes, but his is noticeably not happy.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, I suppose.
That's not always true.
I guess
I have some beautiful pictures of Tabin.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can catch him in his real smile. He's got a gorgeous smile. Absolutely. But his traditional, like, picture smile for the smile, like, if you go to the picture shop or wherever, and
picture shop.
He goes,
well, yeah.
And it's just, it's noticeable. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people will collect the things from nature.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that I will say that will resell are seashells.
Seashells, absolutely.
Well,
like I said too, there's
as far
some places,
as nature stuff, or like the petrified wood.
The petrified. Well, but like I said, there's some places that will paint seashells.
Yeah.
And you can get like a commemorative painted seashell, like especially beach towns like California or like even
Cape Cod has
Virginia
them.
Beach. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little figurines are another thing.
Yeah.
People, especially like
snow globes.
Cape Cod, they have the little tiny lighthouses and things like that. Kitty Hawk's
kind of regional stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think those are cool too because they're unique to whatever that region
area.
is famous for. Like Kitty Hawk has the little plane and, you know,
that's what I got when I was in the North Pole. I got a North Pole.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like a candy cane pole with the thing on the top.
Well, you have to.
I'm like, I mean, there was a lot of other ones. You could have got Santa, could have got reindeer, but I'm like, North Pole, folks.
You got to get the North Pole if you're in the North Pole. It only makes sense.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, there's tons of antique stuff that people will come in, really looking for. And it's kind of a crossover though too from, kind of antique souvenirs to giveaways.
Right.
So, because a lot of places and businesses and the companies and stuff that like you would go, like on the airplane or car rental service or whatever. Actually, I don't know if car rental services really were, I don't know as that was really a big thing when I was a kid. I mean, people rented cars. Yeah, I guess there was, but it's not like today where it's all over the place. But
I don't know. I mean, airports it's traditionally where they would be.
I know, but I don't I don't.
Well, I'm sure you weren't renting cars. I think you would time.
Well, no, but I think they would do more taxis to take you from point A to point B than the other. Or if you're rural, of course somebody'd have to come pick you up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, you would get a lot of advertisement pieces. So, kind of on vacations. And like I said, that kind of bleeds into, other advertisement pieces.
Well, yeah, I think that's another thing with souvenirs. Souvenirs themselves they're generally like very small, very like perishable. They're not very sturdy little things because they're supposed to just be a memory. They're supposed to just be a little reminder of that place. But they are really great pieces for advertising, and there's companies that specialize in making souvenirs and making those little things, and they tend to turn a pretty big profit. And also there's companies that make those little toys in the souvenir shop that break 10 minutes after you get them, and they make a killing because it may take 3 cents to make those little cup and ball things that you flip up and down. The string breaks. It takes 2 pennies to make a paddle ball with a staple and a rubber ball and a rubber band that breaks in 30 seconds. But they sell them by the pound.
Well, they do. They really do. And I think that's kind of why people they like collecting stuff that they can actually use.
Yeah.
Like the tea towels and the tablecloths and the trays. Even the shot glasses is something you can use.
Well, absolutely.
They like to kind of combine the gifts. It's like, this is a memory that I can actually use. Yeah. Well, it's practical.
I think it's different between the people too, because like I said, some people like something they can use. Some people like something they can display,
Right. Absolutely.
And folks, we are out of time.
Okay.
Well, folks, it has been a hodgepodge, but we have had some fun.
It has been hodgepodge tonight.
Yeah, but we've had some fun. We hope you had some fun. We threw some cool stories in there. How about that?
That's true.
We had some pretty interesting
And
stories.
Aaron will put up those pictures of Costner's, I'm calling it Costner's Glacier Cave.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And
Frida was very special. We need to do a podcast on old pictures because that is something that is kind of sad to me, but it's really, I love looking at them. I love when I find old pictures, like, 1920s, 1930s pictures. But it just kind of breaks my heart a little bit that they're not with their family.
Absolutely. Well, and I think there's the nostalgia effect of that is tenfold. One, because that picture is not with the original family, and two, the older the picture gets, the more nostalgia it kind of gains. It's maybe illogical, but I think that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just kind of like, who gave this? How did this end up in my hands? I don't know. There's certain things that I think are kind of taboo to get rid of, and pictures are right at the top of my list.
Definitely one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd much rather throw away a picture and print another one than I would to give away a picture. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, and all, the pictures that I have, they're old. They're 1930s pictures. They're pretty old, but yeah, Aaron will definitely put up those pictures for you so you can go, oh, okay.
Yep. Well, folks, like I said, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Rick Cromie in 2 weeks. Or we're going to talk about Paris soon, and we're going to talk about these old pictures. We got a lot of stuff lined up.
We do.
We do.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of cool stuff.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. And next week,
Aaron will be back from his beach vacation.
Yes. Next week, next Monday, we will probably not have a show because I will be on my beach vacation. But the following Monday, we could
probably squeeze one in.
We might be able to.
Might be.
We might be able to. We'll see. But anyways,
you got
folks.
nothing to do.
Yeah, before I have to really go through my schedule. Stay hip
And humble.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right.